Hi, I'm Deborah Gray.
And I'm Lawrence Gager.
We're going to talk today about the importance of self-care for teens with depression and or anxiety. So I think we'll start with talking about what is self-care. You see it all over the place. I think I looked yesterday at Instagram. There were 12 million. When you did a search for a hashtag self-care, there were 12 million mentions.
Yeah.
Um, but uh, I guess it's easier to talk about what it's not.
Yeah.
It's not most of what you see on
I mean,
Instagram.
that's the deal with most things.
Yeah, it's not what you see on Instagram for most of what you see on Instagram. It's not um, Netflix, skincare. There's some of the other things that people do.
Sitting in bed all day and not being productive whatsoever.
Sitting in bed all day. Eating a pound of Godiva chocolates. That's self-indulgence, which is not a bad thing, but it's not self-care. If you think about it, does eating 5 pounds of Godiva in 2 days, like I did one time, feel good? It might feel good, but
it isn't good for you.
It's not. There's nothing wrong with it once in a while, but that is not self-care. That is not good for you. It's not something that is going to help your health, your well-being, your emotional well-being.
It's going to shorten your lifespan.
Yeah. Well, it's not. It's not going to help your depression or your anxiety. So you were going to talk a little about Instagram and self-care, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's exclusively Instagram, but on Tumblr and Instagram is where I've seen it most. People talking about, oh, I'm not feeling too good. Oh, I'm depressed, and I'm not questioning if they have depression or not. I'm gonna spend all day in bed eating excessive amounts of food, and watching Netflix all day, and it's depressing. As ironic as that is, it's depressing to see that, because it's like it as you said, it'll feel good, but it's not good for you, and you're not making any effort to improve your depression. You're just saying, yeah, I'm just gonna do nothing.
And there's like I said, there's nothing wrong with indulging yourself once in a while. That's fine. Especially if you have depression. Once in a while it's so bad that it's kind of like you're sick. So yeah, going to bed, hang out, and doing nothing, once in a while, it's when you have depression. Sure, it's definitely going to happen. But self-care is much more deliberate. So there are a couple things to remember about self-care. One is, while we're going to give you information about activities and things to keep in mind that you can do for self-care, you should try a lot of different things, but self-care is individual to everyone, and you need to decide what is right for you for self-care.
Don't listen to us. We're not professionals.
Well, we're going to give you some ideas, and we're going to give you some resources. And a lot of these things also we're going to expand upon in future videos, but we're just kind of giving you an overview now. Then the next thing I think we talk about with self-care is, I don't know if you call it emotional mindfulness is part of emotional health. I guess let's just say, for the sake of argument, it's part of emotional health. We're going to expand on mindfulness in another video because it's a huge subject. Basically, mindfulness just means being in the moment. So in other words, I'll just use an easy example. When you're eating something, are you thinking about something else, or are you actually paying attention to what you're doing? Are you paying attention to eating? I mean, one bad thing about eating is just mindlessly eating, and you're
mindful eating, folks.
Mindlessly eating. Let's say you're watching TV and you're eating potato chips, You're not really thinking about what you're doing. So you're not enjoying the food, first of all, but you're not getting anything out of that food.
Mindful eating, folks. Most important part of this video.
But so that was actually just an example. So that's just mindfulness in general. Mindfulness meditation is something that Lawrence and I both do.
Well, more her. I've been slacking on it.
Well,
I've been caught lacking, folks.
Actually, that is another point I meant to make in general that I forgot. If you know, there is no failure when it comes to self-care. So, in other words, if you I wasn't meditating for a couple weeks. If you stop doing one of these activities, don't beat yourself up about it. Just start doing it again, okay? Assuming that it's something that has been good for you and has worked for you and you enjoy. I enjoy meditation. Lawrence and I both use an app called Headspace.
I want to go in depth about that more in another video.
We will, yeah. Yeah. I mean, there are other ways to do mindfulness. There are videos on YouTube. But it's something that both of us do enjoy it. It's good for your health.
Get a Headspace subscription. We're not sponsored by Headspace, but get one anyways.
Anyway, so one thing that you can do, mindfulness thing you can do a few times a day is called a body scan, and it's something that just takes a couple minutes. There's other mindfulness meditation you can do that's just a couple minutes. So again, I'm going to put links to information about this in the description so you can try it out for yourself.
Again, not sponsored by Headspace. Maybe we will be someday.
Anyway, so let's see. Another thing that I something I discovered recently and I think is pretty helpful is called positive psychology. This is something else we're going to go into more depth in the future, but it's basically a way of let's put it this way. So if you expose yourself, let's say, if you start listening to a really sad song over and over and over, okay, because you're in a things like that, things like listening to a sad song over and over, these in depression and anxiety, these actually make changes in your things like this actually make changes in your brain. The thing is, you can go the other direction and make positive changes in your brain. So there's something called a positivity portfolio that you can make. Positive psychology talks about a variety of positive emotions that you can enhance and that you can build on and expand. This is a pretty complicated subject. I actually took a whole course on it online. But I'm going to put some information below about positive psychology that you can just, dip your toe in if you're interested in. I'm one of those people who has always been kind of skeptical of just thinking positive thoughts. But I have to say, I think there really is something to this, and this is backed up by studies. It's still a fairly new field in psychology, but I actually was pretty impressed when I took this course, and I think that it has concrete, positive effects on, especially if you have depression. And there are other ideas that can help with emotional self-care. There are things like journaling. Again, self-care is one of these things that you have to pick and choose, try different things out, see what works for you. I think the most important thing is self-care is not elective. This is something you need to prioritize. You have a lot going on in your life when you're a teen, there's no question. but this is something that you need to actually plan into your day and make it a priority because it's really, really important. You need to take care of yourself, take care of your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health, because
or else you'll end up like me.
Because it's just really, really important. I mean, one way to think of it also is, let's say you had a friend who was sick. Now you would be telling them, okay, you got to take care of yourself. You have to, get some rest. You have to eat well. I mean, you need to tell yourself the same things on a regular basis. You need to take care of yourself. And I realize at your age that sometimes you feel immortal. And this is not about oh, you gotta have to take care of yourself at this point, because in 40 years, you're gonna start getting all kinds of scans like for colon cancer and all that stuff. This is not about that. This is about right now. This is about taking care of yourself right now, especially if you have depression and or anxiety. Okay, so please prioritize this. It's really, really important. One thing also, another thing that I just thought of is also finding a creative outlet. Lawrence has started playing the guitar, and it's something that even sometimes he'll just be strumming on the guitar, not, in particular trying to practice something, but it's kind of a self-soothing thing.
Yeah.
And some people like to draw, some people like to write. But a creative outlet is also really, really important.
Oh, Linkin Park made all their songs. Chester, so depressed.
Again, I think
mean.
I think that also hits something else, that when you're doing your creative thing, whatever it is, first of all, it's another mindfulness activity, because you're really focusing on something that is outside your usual concerns, and I think that that's another way to be mindful, which ultimately is really good for your health. There's one more thing about self-care that I personally really like and really need. It's not something that is really Lawrence's thing, but again,
hey, excuse you.
This illustrates.
So recently.
This illustrates how you need to find your own thing. I really need to have some exposure to nature. Where I work, there are a lot of trees. There's actually a brook, and so that's one reason I take my walk at lunch every day. It's actually been found that exposure to nature is really good for your health. If you live in a city, and try going to a park. If you don't have any great parks, or you don't have a chance to go to a park, try listening to audio of nature. Try watching something on YouTube.
Yeah, just yell, Alexa, play rain sounds.
If you want to do that, yeah, you could have Alexa play rain sounds. But there are a lot of different ways to...
Noise. Try the music.
Thanks.
Alexa, stop!
Anyway, there are a lot of different ways to do it. I'll link to a couple things on YouTube, a couple videos that are nice. I like to watch ones that are underwater. I mean, there's actually science also to that. There's a reason why there are aquariums a lot of time in doctors' and dentists' office. It's because actually watching fish lowers your blood pressure.
It's because fish are cool.
Okay, fish are cool, and also watching them lowers your blood pressure. Physical self-care.
Yeah, I mean, the three things that are most important are eating nutritiously, getting exercise, and sleep. Let's start backwards. Sleep, because that's what you nag me about the most. You nag me the most about sleep.
Yeah.
Because
I'm your mother and
go to bed at ungodly hours of the morning. and you always say, "Oh, it's making your depression worse." First of all, I don't care because I'm already
Okay.
I've given up on repairing myself. But anyways, getting good sleep is
You're not
important.
setting a good example.
Yeah, no, don't follow my example. You're gonna end up shortening your lifespan by about 30 years. Um, going to bed.
Okay, so let's acknowledge first of all that all teenagers do have
Go
a
to bed
shift.
at an ungodly
Well, no,
hour.
you're. It actually shifts during your teenage years that you do become night owls more often than not. So there is something you're fighting against. But if you're up and you know you should be going to sleep instead of playing, another 20 minutes or half an hour of a game or talking with your friends or what I'm talking about.
That's targeted. That's targeted towards me.
Well,
I'm
okay.
offended.
Anyway, yes, it's true that you do have a shift in your sleep cycle, but on the other hand, you still should be asking yourself once in a while, okay, it's midnight. Do I really need to stay up, or can I go to sleep now? Because it would be better. So
Yeah.
Sorry, and go ahead.
Offended. Exercise. I hate it, and I never do it. Once again, don't follow my example. I mean, I do some walking occasionally. Shut up.
A friend of Lawrence's is over. Okay. Well,
Don't laugh at
let
me.
Let me tell you the facts about this. The facts is that there are studies that show we don't know why with depression why exercise helps, but it does help depression. You get an immediate boost of endorphins, and it has long-term benefits. So there's no question, although we don't know the exact reason, exercise is good for depression. Exercise can be just taking a walk. It doesn't have to be running a marathon. As far as anxiety, exercise is definitely good for anxiety immediately. Because the thing with anxiety is that you have cortisol and adrenaline running through your body when they shouldn't be, and exercise gets rid of that. And the other thing, it gets rid of what's built up. The other thing for both depression and anxiety is that both of them are exacerbated by stress. Anxiety actually kind of causes a stress reaction in your body, and depression can just be exacerbated by stress. Exercise gets rid of those results of stress from your body, and that's really, really important.
Yeah. And another thing is eating healthy. Something I don't do either. I am following literally none of these guidelines.
Well, you're not following the physical guidelines.
Definitely not.
Okay.
Eating healthy, it's important, and I don't do it. I don't follow any of the examples here. At least not the physical ones.
Well, we try, but the important ones are.
She tries.
Obviously, you know about eating fruits and vegetables, but the other things that you want to consider are cutting back on sugar. Okay, sugar, that's really important. For me, actually, when I cut back, my blood pressure dropped about 30 points. It's not something you worry about at your age when you're a teen, but it remember that also has an impact on your overall health. You also want to eat more fiber. That's good for you. It keeps your blood sugar at an even level, and it keeps you, along with cutting back on sugar, it keeps you from having those crashes where you're coming down from a sugar high. So that also has an impact on your moods, but that definitely has an impact on your health. And I'm going to put a resource in the description, and we're also going to talk more about this in a future video, just about cutting back on sugar and the impact on sugar, and how the sugar manufacturers have been manipulating us all these years. So
wow, government conspiracies.
No, not the government. It's the sugar manufacturers. So anyhow, so
you might as well put on your tinfoil hat now.
No, there actually are there.
All right.
Yes. Anyway, so did you have any? Did you have anything else you wanted to say about the physical aspects of self-care?
Don't be like me.
True. Don't be like him. I'm older. So I have more things wrong with my body. I walk 5 days a week at lunch, and I use a rowing machine. So a lot of this
It's called an erg.
Okay, whatever. A lot of this obviously doesn't seem important to you, but we're just putting it out there, things to think about. Okay. Anyway, if you have found this video helpful, please consider giving it a like. And
Smash that MF like button.
And if you...
In all seriousness, though, give us a like. It boosts our confidence.
Well, give us a like. Also, if you're interested in seeing more videos about depression and anxiety, please consider subscribing. And if you have any comments about what you do for self-care, or if you have any questions or even any criticism, please leave a comment below. We'd really like to see them.
Watch out for the next video where I dissect a turtle.
No.
I don't know. I'm trying to... Who did that?
Okay. Anyway, we will see you next time. Thanks for watching.